imagine a car that's inflatable? There's a new company in California called XP that is reevaluating the way that we as Americans look at cars. My interest with alternative vehicles spans a long range. A few years ago, back in the early 2000s, became very interested in electric vehicles as a way to reduce our dependence on natural oils and be more sustainable as a society. So I began researching. My first car that I actually did some research on was a GM model. It's called a skateboard car. It's a thing of the past now, but at the time, it broke a lot of molds. And so as I was researching for this assignment, I thought, that's something I'm really interested in, and I want to bring that to an audience and make them think about vehicles a little differently. What do you think of when you think of a traditional car driving down the road? What's your perception? What's your mental image? Does it look like this? I would like to show how our perception of automobiles and the idea that we have about automobiles and how they should be designed and the kind of fuel that they use can be changed and make us think outside the box. And using this company, I think, gives us a good idea of where we can see ourselves in the future with automobiles. Driving down the road today, you'll see many vehicles, and they all pretty much are the same. Not a lot's changed in the past 80 years with vehicles. I mean, everything's pretty much stayed the same. The internal combustion engine's still the same. Electric vehicles are something that are completely different. They have looked at cars and changed the way that they design a car, manufacture a car, and put a car into production. Automobiles are generally made of materials that cause real harm when you're in a car crash. It's metal on metal. Those airbags can cause harm to children. The airbags can actually cause a concussion during an accident. You don't even have to be going at a high rate of speed for your airbag to be deployed. The steel structure can actually give in and cave in. If you actually drive into water, your car sinks and you have to try to get out of your vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of safety issues with an automobile. The weight of the automobile and the steel that it's enclosed in. XP has designed a car that can potentially change this for everyone. Imagine having an airbag that encloses the car. That's the concept of an inflatable car that XP has designed. Basically, they've used technology developed by NASA to produce a car that has a structure on the outside, a polymer structure that has air inside of it that allows it to be inflatable, but causes it to be very, very crash resistant. At 30 miles an hour, you can be in a car accident. Nothing will happen to this car. The shock is absorbed by the body of the vehicle. The interior of the vehicle is completely redone. They've completely rethought the designing of a traditional vehicle. The panel, your display panels, your steering column, everything is made out of the same material. Everything is an airbag. Now, how safe would that be? Driving down the road in a fully enclosed, inflatable device that is going to absorb all the shock from any impact. This vehicle, it floats. If you would ever drive into a lake or river, this car floats so that you have the ability to get out of it. It happens. People go into rivers all the time, and it's something that can actually save lives. The cars we drive today use gasoline. That's a non-renewable resource that, as it continues to run out, is going to increase in price. Gasoline is not something that we can depend on in the next 20 years. It's just not viable. Electric vehicles offer us the alternative to use a sustainable energy. Now, I know that there's some contention out there that even electricity has to be made. So the technology that EV is using allows individuals to use water and other supplies in their own home to create that electricity. So it's completely renewable, which is a different way to look at battery-operated vehicles. It's much better for the environment, and there's another plus. Because they're using a new technology instead of the original electric vehicles where you plug it into the wall, this vehicle has a component, battery, that you literally take out of the car and plug in to your own electrical making source. It's a battery charger that you provide the energy for. And you can have 50 of these little battery packs pack them in your car, and go all across the United States and back. This vehicle has literally no range. One of the wonderful things about this inflatable car is the fact that it ships in a package, in a pallet, in a box. So you can ship twice as many on a freight truck or even a train to your local dealership, where in 2 hours it can be put together, inflated, and ready for you to drive away. Here's the kicker. Today, if you go out and buy a brand new vehicle with basic upgrades, I mean just limited car, it's going to cost over $20,000. This car seriously drives as fast as a Tesla. It's going to go highway speeds, long distances, all those things that you see in these hugely expensive electric cars. This one's safer, and this one starts out at $20,000. This is the way to look at the new generation of electric automobiles. Earlier, I asked you to describe a car. Well, my hopes are that your idea of a car might change a little, and your hopes for the future of cars may be a little broader. It might be a little more enlightened. This car might seem like something out of science fiction, but it's here today. All of the components are there. The technology exists. As a consumer, I'm happy about that. Though these vehicles are not yet for sale, we should demand safer cars. We should demand economical vehicles that we can truly afford to buy. Electric vehicles, like the XP, allow us to be independent from oil. They allow us to be safer. They allow us to continue driving cars that we're used to seeing on the road. So it's not something out of the Jetsons. You're not driving down the road and people are staring at you taking pictures. It's a normal car with all the normal gadgets and all the normal comforts that we expect in a vehicle. It's just safer. It's better for our earth. I'm so thankful that there is a company out there that's turning things upside down and changing the way that we are going to look at cars in the future.